Please do not return to Canada. The unvaccinated will never leave. Information for my daughter. My daughter Luba left Canada to stay with a friend in Florida before the insanity intensified. Her ego and the collective ego surrounding her convinced her to return to Canada because that is the rule. Luba wants to live in Florida, but she's guided by the unconscious collective ego mind. I am guided by my soul to not only try to guide Luba, but also to create this informative letter and turn it into a video that will serve other conscious individuals. Please share this video as widely as possible. Many people are awakening and sharing the horrible facts of what is going on in the world of lies, the world of illusion we live in. But only Guy, the former Dr. Guylaine Langto, author of the bestseller The Medical Mafia and What the Hell Am I Doing Here Anyway, talks about the only solution. Even David Icke, who has been exposing all of the details hidden for more than 30 years, does not clearly talk about the only solution. Dear Luba, Luba means loved one in Ukrainian. You have provided me with the opportunity to write this letter to you and share it with anyone that is ready to listen. There is no time left. I must speak the truth no matter how ugly and challenging it is. One single and sincere look at the present world situation is enough to convince anybody that it has reached the point of no return. All governments are corrupt. The money system serves only the rich. Values and ethics are crumbling. War, murder, and rape haunts our lives. The basic structure of society is collapsing, starting with family life. Time is accelerating and carries in its wake never-ending and planet-wide catastrophes. Earth and its inhabitants are expressing perpetual suffering and abysmal despair. Many are already anticipating the end of the human species. Humanity is heading to a monumental dead end. Everywhere. People are talking about crises. Financial, political, social, ethical, climatic, environmental, etc. In fact, it is none of this. In reality, it's an evolutionary crisis. Instead of fighting this process, reverting to outdated practices, holding on to useless assets, or waiting for a promised savior, why not make a 180-degree turn in the other direction? Let's stop repeating our obsolete ways, which can only bring more suffering. It's time to dream about the next step, the new eidesic species, and modify our actions to facilitate its imminent birth. Our destiny is in our own hands. If we choose to, we can create paradise on earth. These words are written on the back of the cover of the first booklet in the series of 10 Personocratia's booklets, Evolution Towards the New Species. So what does all this mean? The normie does not want to listen to this nonsense because it implies I have to change, adapt, take action, evolve, create a whole new life. This is too difficult. I prefer to just be positive and believe that everything will work out for me. The simple fact is that the extinction of humanity is at our doorstep. The apocalypse has started, and this is exactly what we need. All the social and planetary upheavals we are currently facing herald the end of the world of illusion. From its ashes will emerge paradise on earth. The question, however, is whether or not we wish to take part in the establishment of a new world, a new kingdom, a new being. Today, each human being living on earth is faced with choosing one of three directions. The first leads him towards effortlessness, microchip, vaccine, passport, and basic income. The second brings severe illness, suffering, and despair, leading to slow or quick death. As for the third, it calls upon courage and propels the transformation into an eidesic being, the ultimate goal of all terrestrial evolution. Luba, you have witnessed me taking the decision to leave the world of lies 20 years ago. I did not understand at the time that making the decision to stop paying income tax means I was taking a monumental step out of citizenship. Today, with all the calamities and the progressive surfacing of all the lies surrounding COVID, even the very wary individuals continue to be blind to the fact that the simple way out of this mess is to stop paying taxes. With the exception of Guy, virtually nobody in the alternative media dares to touch the subject of taxes. Everyone has been programmed to believe that I must be a citizen of a country and be proud of it. The fact is that citizen equals slave. The taxes that I pay, income tax, property tax, house tax, car registration tax, goods and service tax, and so on, are simply taxes for the slave. Of course, the slave happily pays for his own slavery and thinks he's free and contributing to society. Luba, your soul and my soul conspired more than 11 years ago to create the situation where you agreed to try and help my dental practice to survive by taking over the finances of the dental practice. In the end, I went to jail and you had to declare bankruptcy. You were so upset with me for so long that you could not see how much this creation of yours has benefited you because you personally experienced one aspect of limitation in the system. The only way forward for conscious individuals is to completely get out of the system. You cannot partially get out and, on the other hand, try to hold on to some of the benefits of the system. The choice is simple: in or out. Not accepting the vaccine is only the first step out. You cannot ask permission from any perceived authority to do or not to do something, because that only confirms that you are a slave and are behaving like a slave. You will not get permission to get back out of Canada. I know that with absolute certitude. If you leave Florida, you will be imprisoned in Canada. I'm not exaggerating. I am sending you the link for Max Egan and his channel, The Crow House. He left Australia because intuitively he started to feel that he must leave Australia. He is now in Mexico, and as much as he wants to go back to Australia, he knows that it is an impossibility. If he wants to continue to speak the truth, Max is amazing. I hope you will choose to listen to him. Australia is just one step ahead of Canada. They are engineering the weather and creating unprecedented flooding in the Gold Coast area to steal all the properties and push people into never-ending COVID camps. You probably have not heard what is going on in Shanghai. Over 26 million people in that city have been in total lockdown in their apartments since April 5th. They are starving. Food was promised by the government, but not coming, and people are now jumping out of their balconies. COVID is far from over. The fact is that there is nowhere to hide from the perceived authorities. Having said that, some places are better options than others to navigate through this long-lasting transition period. The U.S. Constitution has the Second Amendment, the right for people to keep and bear arms. Canada and Australia do not have this right, and therefore, it is much easier to destroy them. Just look at what was done to the truckers. No access to bank accounts and confiscation or destruction of the trucks. Florida is one of the best states because the weather there offers a huge advantage. You can grow food for most of the year in Florida, and you do not have to worry about heating. Ottawa, Canada, does not offer those advantages. Over here in Colombia, we recently received the property tax bill, and this year it has gone up from 300 to 2,000. This was the encouragement we needed to stop paying this tax. You know that 20 years ago I made the decision to stop paying income tax, but I continued to pay all other smaller taxes and registrations. Now, 20 years later, we are completely out of the system. The system I'm referring to is not the Colombian system, it is the worldwide enslavement system. As everything disintegrates, it will become more and more uncomfortable and challenging to survive in the illusion of the world of lies. This is why you must make the decision now. Where do you want to live? If the answer is Florida, then you must intelligently plan as much as possible and do whatever can be done to make that happen. You do not need permission from anyone to live on the land. Mexicans and all kinds of other immigrants are flooding into the US. It is open border policy for them. Ever ask yourself, why is the US not only allowing, but inviting a flood of illegal immigrants in? You can choose to live anywhere you want on this earth. You are a sovereign. This means there is no authority above you. There is nobody between you and God, because God, Spirit, is inside of you. However, me saying those words means nothing. You must know what the truth is. The only truth, and therefore the only solution. Of course, I must talk about Ukraine. It amuses me to observe that my true self, my soul, created for this lifetime experience of mine, the environment of a Canadian born into a very nationalistic Ukrainian family. You may remember a little from your Ukrainian school days that Ukraine has always had a very tumultuous experience. I recently made a video titled Ukraine, Russia, and the Nazification of the West. For your own benefit, please watch that video. And then, in order to understand the big picture of what is going on geopolitically in the world today, please watch The Occult History of the Diabolical Mafia Khazar, Part 1 and 2. All the links are provided. Here are a few interesting screenshots to add some information that is not included in the videos. We learned that the Khazars, who became Jews, also became Christians. Therefore, the Khazars infiltrated the Jewish camp and also the Christian camp. I believe that it is extremely helpful for every conscious individual to learn about this occult history. Why was this information hidden? In 45 minutes, you will learn what you need to know to wisely move forward through the upcoming challenges. Alexander Solzhenitsyn said, "You must understand, the leading Bolsheviks who took over Russia were not Russians. They hated Russians. They hated Christians. Driven by ethnic hatred, they tortured and slaughtered millions of Russians without a shred of human remorse. It cannot be overstated. Bolshevism committed the greatest human slaughter of all time. The fact that most of the world is ignorant and uncaring about this enormous crime is proof that the global media is in the hands of the perpetrators." Finally, Zelensky is a huge, bought and paid for puppet. Further, and I've said this before in one of my videos, so is Putin, Trudeau, Xi, Biden, and so on. Here is a picture of just a few who have passed through the World Economic Forum and the young global leaders. Jacinda Ardern, Trudeau, Macron, Boris Johnson, Mark Zuckerberg, Tedros, Ursula von der Leyen, Christine Lagarde, Gavin Newsom, Merkel, Gates, Scott Morrison, Jeff Bezos, and so on. There is no right or wrong side. We have all been programmed from the minute we were born. I vaccinated both of my children because I was taught by my mother and later by the system that it is the right thing to do because everybody does it. Today, I know that at all times, all authorities in all spheres of life have always deceived me. Neither right nor wrong, simply animal. Evolution is not finished. Reason is not the last word, nor the reasoning animal, the supreme figure of nature. As man emerged out of the animal, so out of man, the Superman emerges. Sri Aurobindo. Gratitude, Luba, for giving me this opportunity to start a new direction with my videos. I will always be here to guide you with detailed suggestions on how to navigate through the transition. Just contact me and I will be there. I am confident that you have the needed courage within you. Just allow it to express itself. Infinite love. It is up to us not to comply, yet have compassion towards others, no matter where they are at on their evolutionary path of consciousness. Every day, I must reinforce my resolve to move forward on my evolutionary path towards the new species. Let us rejoice, because everything that unfolds in the world of lies is only an illusion, and this world of lies is disintegrating before us exponentially. From hell on earth to paradise on earth, we are building what many said was impossible. Consider joining us in our consciousness community on the edge of the town of Popayan in southern Colombia. This is an invitation for a long-term stay at Cascada Café Retiro in Colombia. There is absolutely nowhere to hide. Having said that, in Popayan there is good food growth throughout the year, and the temperate mountain climate makes life very comfortable here. Will you join us in this paradise on earth? I consult by phone and offer tools so that you can find your individual solution by making contact with your soul. Please share my videos so that this information can reach the people who need it. Infinite love.